viewpoint. Um, let's talk about upskilling. And I know we spent quite a lot of time talking about upskilling, but I also think it's an organization imperative as organizations embark on this journey of smart technologies. What would be your recommendation from the organization point of view? Obviously, we've talked about people, skilling themselves, by taking up, courses or just getting free courses that are online. But as an organization, how do we develop a cohesive strategy to upskill people so that when these smart technologies start taking up jobs that people did, like we said earlier on in our conversation, people still have a livelihood, or they'll have, professional growth. They'll grow into other areas of businesses or other areas of the career. What would you say to a CEO or a CIO who has people at heart, as they are implementing these technologies, and he's thinking about, or she's thinking about, the people who be displaced as a result? What do they need to do from the upskilling or reskilling of the people point of view?
So again, at the risk of repeating myself and making it sound over simple, what is the end goal? Where do you think, even if you don't have the 5-year end goal, but in the next year, what will most likely happen in the way we work because we're automating, we're using smart technologies and the like? Because what we can't just upskill people for the sake of upskilling them. So I was not able to write code and now I can, but maybe the company
Yeah.
still doesn't need me. Is what is that? And that's where workforce design and again the whole change management conversation comes in. Is if we believe in the next year or two, the market demands, the trends in the market, what our competitors are doing, what our customers are looking for, and what technology can do, is going to take us to point X. What is the workforce we need? Almost, I wanted to say, if you could start at a clean slate, if you had no legacy systems, people who've been there for 20 years, etc., what would that ideal picture look like? And then map it to where you are now. Because again, if you don't know where you're taking the organization, what do we train people to do? Because that'll then also impact, do we still need 1,000 people? Do we not maybe need 50? Because, and sometimes job displacement, not often actually, job displacements is inevitable. As long as you have a big problem with it, as long as you grapple with it, as long as you do your best to try and retain people. But I mean, I don't want to sound oblivious to the fact that as we use technology, a lot of people might and most likely will end off without jobs. Many of them toward the latter part of their career, because now where do they find a new job? How do they can't go back to college, university, or so? They often have kids that's at college or university themselves. But what is that end picture? And then because that's again the upskilling and the change plan is from point A to point X. What are the pillars to get us there? And we have to upskill our people in line with this plan, not just because what often happens is a technology or sort of the HR department might have R1 million left at the end of the budget cycle, and if they don't use it, they're going to lose it. Now they just train people in, I don't know, baking cake, making jelly, some coding. So just spend the money, So, so that's you have to think a lot smarter about how are we going to spend it, what money are we going to need, what are we going to train people to do. Always think of the outcome, the end picture first before you build the plan to get them there. Don't just do a knee-jerk reaction only for this year. There's 5 courses that we need to buy, otherwise we're going to lose our budget. We can't do it like that, and it often, or almost rather, in my experience, happens like that. It's funny, but it happens.
No, you're very right, and I love the fact that you bringing that whole concept of being deliberate. Okay, people need to have a plan in terms of looking at what jobs probably be replaced, and design a proper training program or reskilling program for the people, so that like you're saying, people are not just doing things on the fly. or because we've got a budget that has remained, let's throw it on training. There's got to be that deliberate consciousness where you're actually investing in people to acquire new skills that are needed for the now and for the future.
True. Very true. And it's complex,
Yeah.
but it can be done.